council estate and to be a photographer. I remember my careers officer laughed at me and said, oh, well, you better think about something seriously. And I just remember thinking, all right. I was 14 when I got my first camera, and it was a Hanimex, and I bought it from Woolworths. For some reason in my head, I wanted a pair of binoculars and a camera. I didn't know which one I was going to buy first, so I think it was about 20 quid, which is quite a lot in 1979. And something told me to get the camera. I was just hooked after that. Yeah, I had to limit myself with the film because obviously finance was an issue. You know, buying film is luxury. So I'd get a film, and that would have to last me 3 weeks to a month, sometimes longer. So on some of the contact sheets in the book, you'd have like 5 images used for the book off of one contact sheet. But the reason for that is I had to be very careful, you know, of what I took. I didn't have any photographic influences. A lot of the imagery here comes from that part of me that can see an image. I was obsessed with perspective, boom, 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 drawing it all the time. As soon as I picked up a camera, I was just looking for perspective all the time. Because I've always been slapdash and I just want to take pictures. I'm not really interested too much in the technical side. And, you know, thank God my father was. He would process my films for me. In the first few years, we'd set up in the bathroom at home and he would process them to the letter. So that's why I've got so many, you know, lovely negatives that I can still, 20 years later, print beautiful pictures from. So yeah, my dad took care of all that. And when I worked at Camera Press, I used to process them myself after that. I think when we're all young, we just do things, don't we? Just do it, you know, I'm just taking pictures because I enjoyed taking pictures. It's only when they were discovered in '94 that they became something else other than pictures of my friends. Those images represent all of us from Cornwall to Scotland that lived around that time. We were serious about being skinheads. That was 8 to 10 years of my life I dedicated to it. Having that expression of people actually disliking you, I used to love that, you know. And then people realising you weren't some sort of thug beamed in from Planet Skinhead that was glue sniffing in the morning, beating his mum up and attacking Asians in the afternoon. People didn't know about us and about the culture, you know, and I just loved it. I just loved it. Shut up! And I'm very fortunate I didn't have a bunch of fat, ugly mates. They'd have still been interesting photographs, but they wouldn't have been as good, and just wonderful. I just had such a photogenic brother that, you know, it's heaven really, it's there. This must be some of the first photographs I took. And Nev and his little mate, Gary, were just playing up the local park. I must have got the Olympus Home one and then gone over the park to where Nev and his little mate were hanging out just to test the camera out. And that's how the photographs came to be. I was 15 when I took them, Nev was about 10. And now it's, you know, now it's a famous, iconic image. Those fucking patches on his jeans are real, right? They're not there for fashion. Because this stuff is real, it's getting latched onto. Because it's real. You know, that's why people like Levi's and Doc Martens, they're interesting because it was the last form of something that was mass and that was real. Don't put me on that. You know, people ask me what it was like being a skinhead, and to be perfectly honest, I look at the whole thing now and I just look at we were young kids. Photography was always there, you know, behind all the trouble with the police and all the violence and all the heartbreak, and, you know, photography was my relationship. The work, the skinhead, the 80s work that I have, the archive there, has a life of its own now, above and beyond my huge ego and what I think of it. You know, I could start drinking bottles of whiskey every day and the stuff would still live on, you know. So my relationship with the work is quite removed, I should think. I feel. You know, it has a life of its own now.